Okay, KW here. I bought this light camper from someone that lives back in the country of Wisconsin, and they had it in the garage for years. It's a 93, like new, like brand new. And I'm going to be boondocking and going back to California here in the fall. So I'm hooking up a Renogy inverter and a AC or DC charger. Now I'm going to mix that way. I have electricity in here and I don't have that hookup. I don't have to worry about hookups because will be camping out in the desert with no electricity. So I got a battery system. I'm putting it all in. It had nothing in there. It has the big cord there. I don't know, DC or whatever in the hell it is, AC. But anyways, so I'm working on it right now. We'll see how it goes. I just did my first. I got to hook this up from. This goes to the battery, then this will go to that, or vice versa, and then my cord, my 4-gauge cord, will come back to the DC charger, and so forth. The DC charger. So right now I got one done. I had an old crimping tool of my auction collections. I had that in the garage. Didn't cost me anything. Crimped that baby pretty good. So we'll go from there. Okay, first hiccup. So they gave me the wrong size heat wrap. The guy at the parts store. Duh. So here's the wrong size, whatever. So I'm just going to go back to the hillbilly ways and use black tape. Breaker. Bing. Bing, bing. So black tape, whatever. The old heat wrap, whatever that shit is wrong, but good old black tape never goes wrong. Breaker. Good buddy, come on. Okay, folks, here's what we did. We rigged it up. I'll try to lay it down there so you can look at it. So we rigged it up. There's my little doohickey. So what we're gonna do is there's your breaker, your 200 amp, that is. And I'm going to hook that up to the battery, this to here, and then the other cord that will run all the way back to the DC charger will hook up to there. So that's where we're at. Blah, blah, blah. Looking good so far for someone that doesn't know what the hell they're doing. 10-4. Okay, folks. I am kicking some royal ass, I think. It's not working yet, so I won't get too excited. So I got this hooked up there with my famous black tape. Not the heat wrap, because it was the wrong size, of course. So I got that hooked up to there. And then I zip tied it all down really nice and tight. Then I shot this wire down through the left side of the motor to keep it away from all the heat. And let me show you my little DC charger right there. So then I shot it over here in the wheel well. So I gotta tweak it. So I put it down there, ran it across this floorboard, zip tied it all up, then shot it up into here. Now I'm shooting it over to the other side, and I'll show you over there. Okay, so let me get back here. So this is a 1992, and it's never been used. Been in the garage. They used it, they said 2 or 3 times. And a beautiful garage, well kept, where they did a lot of work in. Back in a corner, tarp and everything is fantastic. But I want to just get electricity with the battery system in it. It's got the cord here and so forth. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pull this box off. It's got the 3-prong outlet. I'm going to pull that out and then slide you can see my cable, my 4-gauge cable I got at O'Reilly's. I got my company discount. So I saved $30 on 25 feet. Was 95, I got it for 60. So to say the least, my company does a lot of work with O'Reilly's. So I'm going to pull this out. I think that was the trickle charge that you hook up here that people talk about. I don't know. But I'm going to pull that right out and take it right out of there and slide this cable right in there, and then inside I'll show you where my boxes will go. So I did take that out and kind of knocked it around. Didn't want to cut any wires, so I knocked it around, busted some pieces off it to push it back in there, and it's laying in there. So I took my 4-gauge wire again, right there it is. It runs across there. It's not tweaked at all. I gotta try to fasten it on the other side and maybe here, but so it's in here. So now I'll show you inside the camper. Okay, so now we're inside the camper. Let me go into here now. Let me turn on my headlamp. Okay, this is what it looks like in here. And there you see the wire came up through there. And I got to get my my DC charger and my 2000 watt inverter. That should be coming tomorrow. But I got to get them both in here. Let me just try to... Okay, there we go. We did back. So as you can look in here, there's not a lot of room. There's my battery. I got one battery, so I don't have a lot. I'm going to also get a solar panel for it to charge it and stuff like that. But it's when I get out boondocking out in California's desert, I'll have a little juice that can just keep the lights on. That's all I need. I don't burn anything else, just the lights. I don't have a microwave in here. Okay, maybe you can see it a little better from here. I'll try to get some light in there. So there's the battery, and there's the room, and you can look in there and see the red cable coming through, and that's the converter. But I don't know, that's all jammed in there, and I don't know how to hook that up. So, but all I'm going to be running is lights out in the desert at night if I need that, and charge my phone and computer. Outside of that, I got a stove here. I got a stove and a furnace and propane, little TV. You know, living large, living large. Okay, folks, I'm back. It's been a day or so. I had to work, so I found an old board, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this this AC/DC charger on that, and I'm going to hook it up here. This is my left side. So I'm going to hook it up on this, bolt it on this first before I put it into my my travel light camper there, and then I got the inverter coming, the Renogy coming. So I'm going to put that under first. Then I'll screw bolt holes in each end of this, then bolt that into the side in that little box, instead of messing with just trying to get this thing on. So breaker, we'll see how it goes. Here I'm in my little box where stuff goes and so forth, but there is my DC to DC charger. Now I'm still debating on where I'm going to do it. I can do it over there. If I put it up on that wall, then I'm going to be drilling to the outside of my camper, and then I got to mess with that and caulk it. I think I can always change it. I'm going to see how it goes. I think I'm going to put it right up here. I measured it. Let me see if I can. Hang on. Okay, so there I have it up on the wall. See, there's the floor and stuff. So I put it up there on that board, and I guess got to fasten it. It's real slim stuff here, material. So got to debate on all this. I always can change it, so that's the main thing. That's what putting it on that board. I'll bolt it. I'm not going to put screws. I'm going to bolt that board in. That way it's easy to remove, easy to change it. But I think I'm just going to leave it right there, and I'll have my wires hooked up before I bolt it to the thing up here. So it looks pretty cool. Let me take you into my little compartment so far. I showed you that board I cut out. You gotta improvise a little bit. This is not big professional stuff. So let me get up here. So I got the board, and try to get my light on it. So there's that board I put in. I put bolts, and I screwed that. I used screws into that board for that DC to DC outfit. But the board here, I used bolts. That way I can pop it off real easy if I can't get at it. But I went back in there so I can get at it. I can squeeze into there. So, and I'll put my, down here, I put another board in there. I'm going to put my inverter down here, my Renogy inverter 2000 watt. And my battery will go right in here. And eventually I may put two batteries in. I think I can throw one in here also. And we're seeing it's coming along pretty good. So I got about a month and a half before I head south. So let me get the thing in here. It's goofy. But then outside here, you can't be scared to cobble up stuff. I mean, you can't be scared to hurt stuff. So what I did is I put in a nice little flathead bolt and washer. So it looks pretty decent. It's not going to catch on anything. This is pretty flimsy stuff. So this is all a test here. And I bought a toggle switch. that I'm going to hook up to there before I hook it up to the main. Okay, folks, I split them old jumper cables up. I split them up, and I got a ground. Here's my ground. I'm going to put one to the battery in the camper, and then one's going to go underneath to the frame or someplace to ground the battery up. But it looks pretty good. I mean, it's old jumper cables, but the cable, it's got to be 4 gauge. Pretty solid, because they were long jumper cables too. So, and here's my dog Dude. There's my dog Dude. Got him at a pound in Camarillo, California. He traveled with me all the way from California to northern Wisconsin. He's a Queensland healer. Somebody just abandoned him. He's only about 2 years old. Beautiful dog. He's friendly, but he's a baby. I can't walk 2 feet without him. But he's a good partner in crime. Breaker. Okay, folks. Here's what it looks like so far. I put it on that board, took little hand screws, put it in, clamped on the cables. It comes with really nice, thick cables. I see some people get the really cheap cables. Some of those cheap inverters come with crap. These come with solid cables. So these will go my positive. I'll put that up on the side of the wall here and pick away at what we got going. So it looks pretty good so far. Getting the system going, ready for the California desert. If you're gonna do shit like this, you can't be scared to cut into your outfit. I mean, I took a jigsaw in here and tore the shit out of it. And I guess this is what you do. You put this thing in here, I think, and I put it in. This is on and off switch for that Renogy 2000 inverter. So it's pretty cool. Look inside my system. Got that up there. The inverter's down here. My battery's there. A lot of feed wires and stuff. I got boards. So it's looking pretty good so far. Okay, so there's where that cord goes. Right there. We'll get it in here. Yeah, right there at the end of the DC charger. And there's a lot of extra cord here, as you see. And I gotta mangle that up. And there's my little, where I gutted my camper some more. Okay, now let's look at the contraption I rigged up. Now the D plus wire here is supposed to go to a live wire. A lot of people will take it, find a fuse box. When the truck turns on, then this thing turns on, blah, blah, blah. You can do it that way. And I still may do it that way. But what I did is I rigged up a cutoff switch on this board. It's all rigged up. That's what I do. And it's all braced on there. And I ran the D plus switch to there. Then I ran the D plus switch over to the positive. Eventually the cables will all go on here. But I'm in such a cramped quarters that I can't do it all. So I got to do a lot of it here. So I rigged it up. And now all I have to do is when I start up my motor and do a traveling is turn this switch on. Go back to my camper, turn it on and let it run. Then as soon as I stop, I go back and I just turn it off. So it should be working pretty good. We'll see. Then eventually my brother's an electrician, so I'm going to visit him and he knows everything about automotive. So we may try to take this wire and move it to a live wire in the fuse boxes and all that stuff. He can do that in his sleep, but not me. It's Rig City here, baby. Okay, here's ground cable number 2. The other part of the jumper cables. Got to be 4 gauge, pretty strong stuff. Little black tape around it. I don't know, heat wrap shrink shit. That wasn't big enough, but the old farmer's ways. Nothing. Electrician black tape will solve it all. So anyways, I got to do that. I found a really sweet spot under the truck for the ground on the frame. So I got one ground. We're going to get under this thing. See, I always use jack stands. So no matter what you do, always use jack stands. So let me get under here and find out and show you the sweet spot where I found to put them ground wires. Okay, there's my 2 grounds and stuff. So there's the rest of the vehicle I'm under. But I found these on the frame and they look good. They're pretty solid right to the frame, or they're holding something. So let's see how that works. Nothing. I've turned on nothing yet. So I just get out from underneath this truck because I'm just getting too goddamn old for this shit. Okay, folks, we are back again. And this is what we're looking like before I stick it back in this little compartment. You got the old the live and the ground, the old jumper cable that I found in the garage, black tape, you know, F the shrink wrap, the old black tape. And so then we got the little kickoff switch here. So we'll kick that off until I decide to hook it up to a live wire. And we'll go from there. But now I got to stick it back in there. So once I get it back into this little compartment, then you won't see this for a while till I take it off again. Punk. Just get it in here. There's, you seen when I had it on the counter, you can see that hook up. Then we're here. We got that hooked up with this little switch. And there's my inverter. There's the battery. And we're going to test her out right now with the light, the inverter. Haven't did the charger yet. But let me turn on this little switch back here. I'm going to turn on this little switch. Kicked on. Now let's see if there it goes. The light came on. Okay, baby. So it looks like it's we got the one step going. Now let's see if the battery charger works. Okay, so I'm going to test my charger. So what I do is I have this breaker off. While I'm working back there, there's no juice back there. So I'm going to turn the breaker on. This is what you can do. This is all simple. This is an old truck, old camper. Probably overdoing it. I got a a big RV system in it, but you just turn this off. Turn this breaker off when you're not using it back there or running it. There's no juice at all. So what I'm going to do is, now I would say you're going to go on a travel or a long drive, then you just come and click this on, and you click this on, and let's walk inside. So here we got the inverter. I don't have my headlamp on, so it's hard to see. And I'm going to do my switch. Now I got the juice turned on right there. Bango. It's on. The charger is on right now, but we're not driving, of course. But it's a switch. Now you can take that D+ wire, move it to your live wire, or to your key or a fuse box. But this switch here, I rigged up that system so it's, if I'm taking off on a trip, you know, I can just go back and do the breaker up front or just do this. So I'm going to turn it off. So bang. There's our system, folks. DC charger and a 2000 watt inverter there with all that stuff. If you can see it, I don't have my headlamp on. Breaker, good buddy. Come on.